Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
And a good evening to all of you. I'm Huey Poplock. I moderate the opening of the Sarasota Technology User Group. This is our meeting for Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. Bill Crowe will be with us shortly with his presentation, part one of identity theft. But first, some announcements. During this meeting, or towards the end of the meeting, we will have a drawing for a STUG one-year membership renewal. Renewal means you have to be a member in order to qualify to win the one-year membership. The classes and forums are limited to current STUG members only unless otherwise noted. In some cases, it is open to everyone. Video editing is going to be done on Tuesday, December 14th from 10:30 to 12 by Marcia Berkey. All levels of experience are welcome. She'd like to see what interest there is in a video editing and what levels of expertise we have and what programs are being used. And she's going to give an introduction to Camtasia by TechSmith. To register for this class, please send an email at least 2 days prior to the class to Marcia, and you can follow the directions in the trending this week e-news that you receive. She's also that same day, she's going to take an hour off and then have for potential presenters, Google Slides and PowerPoint. All levels of experience for this are welcome, whether you want to write your memoirs, share a presentation with your family or friends, or have a future STUG or other group presentation. This class is for you. Again, you need to let Marcia know to send you the link. The STUG Help Desk, there's a time change for that. It's going to be later in the afternoon. It's been scheduled for the third Wednesday of every month. Now it's going to be from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. so it doesn't interfere with the APCUG meetings, which are earlier. And you can sign up. There's a link there, or I believe you can get that link also from our website. And of course, from the emails that get sent out. Remember that you need to register for most of the classes, either by contacting the leader or online. Also, a reminder, the Tech for Seniors host myself and Ron Brown every Monday from 11:30 to 1:15. It's on Zoom, but we also stream to YouTube. Then on Thursdays, that's tomorrow morning, Tech for Senior Live. Myself, Ron Brown, Bob G, and Bill James, and sometimes Ray Baxter. We just sit and we talk about some of the technology posts that we put up on Facebook, and it's streamed on YouTube and Facebook. It is not on Zoom. So all you have to do is join our channel on YouTube or our Facebook page, and you can go to www.techforsenior.com, one, not seniors, but senior.com, and you find the information about it. Also, every second Sunday, I host a Windows SIG that you're all invited, and we'll be talking about Windows 10, Windows 11, and some Windows tips and tricks. And just go to huey.net and sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get a link there for the next meeting or how to sign up for it. APCUG's December Wednesday workshops. The first one was today, so I don't have it on the list, but there'll be one next Wednesday. Make your own 2022 photo calendar at home. And that's, you see the times from 9 Pacific to noon Eastern time. So those of you who are here in the Sarasota area, it would be noon both those days. And the week later, it's going to be Learning Linux, number 11, software installations and removals. And that's on December 15th, the same time, noon Eastern, and then You can work yourself backwards on the other times. Don't forget the STUG website, thestug.org. Don't forget our newsletter. And the newsletter is online, except the 3 most recent issues are available only to members, and you get an email sent to you with a link to those. Those are not available for you, but here are some of the articles that are in the December issue of the Monitor. And don't forget our YouTube channel, where videos of a lot of our meetings and classes are placed, our Facebook page with lots of tips and interesting information. And of course, don't forget the STUG blog, lots of interesting articles on a regular basis, and that's stugsrq.com. And don't forget, we also have the stuggroups.io, which is a forum where you can ask a question and people answer it. And here's your STUG leaders. Tonight we have the Board of Directors election, and the slate includes a 2-year term, and I'm sure somebody's going to talk more about this than me. Peter Schneider, Peter Dobbins, Jim Cerny, myself, and Dick Bayless are up for a 2-year term, and Leah Petard will be replacing a current board member, and it'll be the remainder of that term, so it'll only be 1 year. Here's a picture of the candidates. Sorry, I didn't have a picture of Peter Dobbins, but there are the other people who are up for election tonight. And we will have the speaker introduction, I'm sure, after the election. So I'm going to stop the share and turn it over to Ann.
Oh, I want to welcome all of you here tonight. This is really great to see such a great group, but I'm not surprised because we've got a great speaker tonight. We are going to have our election first, and in order to do that, I'm going to turn the election meeting over to Jim Cerny. Jim.
Hello,
and Jim,
everybody.
you might also mention that Peter Dobbins is here. He's on your screen, and his picture is there. So if y'all want to see who Peter Dobbins is, raise your hand, Peter, and wave. There you go. There's Peter. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, thank you. We'll try to get this over quickly because I know Bill likes all kinds of time for his presentation. This is our annual election. We do this every year. And this year we are electing 5 board members, directors of the board, they call them directors or board members, for a 2-year term, and 1 person for a 1-year term who's using up, subbing in, jumping in for a person who was going to serve 2 years but only served 1. So we're doing a 2-year term for these people and 1-year term for the other person. After the election, it's the board that determines the functions of the directors on the board. In other words, the secretary, the president, the treasurer, and so forth. So you will not be electing a person, a nominee, or a director for a specific function on the board, only to become a board member. Okay. I want to extend a huge appreciation for 2 very special people in the past who have served for many years in various capacities. First, of course, there was Nancy DeMart, who has served for years as the education coordinator. And I have tried to come in and do a little education coordinating in her place. And also Sharon Rump, who has most recently served as secretary, is no longer running for positions. Now it's time right now to take nominations from the floor. If we were in person, I'd ask for a show of hands. We can't do that today. So what I'm asking is if there's any nominations from anybody that wishes to be a candidate for this election tonight, we need you to make that known immediately. And you can do that by holding down the space bar and voicing your opinion, or unmuting yourself and voicing your opinion. And let me give you 10 seconds for anybody, anywhere attending tonight to nominate anyone for the election tonight. Okay, we'll do a 10 countdown. Okay, having heard no new nominations, the slate has been set. And here are the people running for election. You've already seen their photographs. For a 2-year term as director, we have Peter Schneider, Peter Dobbins, Jim Cerny, myself, Dick Bayless, and Huey Poplock, each for a 2-year term to serve, and Leah Petard for a 1-year term, serving the 2nd year of someone who no longer is serving on the board. So it would be very difficult to ask for a show of hands for yays and count hands and so forth. So we're going to do it this way. Since we're not in person, is I'm going to give everybody a 10-second opportunity to voice any concern to not, that is N-O-T, to not vote for any candidate. Okay, what we're going to do after this, in our past history, there hasn't been any negative or not votes, nay votes, that is, for anybody. So we're going to give that opportunity, and after that opportunity, it will be assumed that all the votes are yes. Does everybody understand that? Are there any questions before we start the election? Okay, let's go through, and I'll give you 10 seconds for any objection for a no vote. That is a nay vote for any of our candidates. 10 seconds. Okay, having heard no nay votes, all nominees are now elected to serve on the board of directors. And I thank you very much. The election is concluded.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim. That's very good. And thank you all who agreed to serve on the board. It's wonderful to have you. I just want to point out that if you can look around and see Jonathan Lippman, Jonathan is our star board member. How old are you, John? About
18.
18. John is 18. So we're delighted to have him on our board as well. We never have to elect our star board member. It's always just fun to have them there. And they learn by being with us as well.
He's got the best head of hair in the group.
You're darn right.
Thank you.
You're darn right. Okay, at this time, it gives me the greatest of pleasures to introduce to you somebody you all know very well, and that is our very own Bill Crowe. He's going to be talking about, well, identity theft. And this is the first of a 2-part presentation. It's going to focus on what is identity theft, the types of identity theft, what is done after the thief gets your information, and what you can do about it if it happens to you. Bill will also address the current scams and what to do about them. And then our second part of the series will be held in January. But for now, let's give a good STUG welcome to Bill Crowe.
Hi, everybody. The subject is identity, and as many of you know, I do start out with some levity. And this one's kind of appropriate. His request approved, a news photographer quickly used a cell phone to call the local airport to charter a flight. He was told a 2-engine plane will be waiting for him at the airport. Arriving at the airfield, he spotted a plane warming up outside the hangar. He jumped in with his bag, slammed the door shut, and shouted, "Let's go!" The pilot taxied out, swung the plane into the wind, and took off. Once in the air, the photographer instructed the pilot, fly over the valley and make a low passes so I can take pictures of the fire on the hillsides. "Why?" asked the pilot. "Because I'm a photographer from cable news," he responded, "and I need to get some close-up shots." The pilot was strangely quiet. Finally, he stammered, "So what you're telling me is you're not the flight instructor?" I'm not hearing anything.
I would let somebody steal your identity.
So Identity is important. Okay, can everybody see? What I'm going to do this evening is talk about the first of two presentations. This will be focused primarily on non-computer issues with identity theft. And we'll do it by introducing to you what is identity theft, what are the most common ways that identity theft happens, quite a few, 5 of the common types of identity theft, and what are the common scams that are going on right now in the Sarasota area. What do criminals do when they have your identity information? What can you do about it if it happens? In January, we'll continue this with talking about what is malware. We'll talk about types of computer scams. When you're out there, you're actually giving away your identity information, and there's many ways in which that happens to you. We'll talk about passwords, email scams, and then we'll have a conclusion. What are identity theft and identity fraud? Identity theft is identity fraud, and identity fraud are terms used to refer to all types of crime in which someone wrongfully obtains and uses another person's data in some way that involves fraud or deception, typically for economic gain. Common ways in which the theft happens: will listen, they watch you, they listen to you, they check your email spam, or they get it through email spam, right? 5 common types of identity that are taken are your driver's license, your social security, your medical ID, character and criminal ID theft. In other words, they're using your ID to commit another crime. And financial ID theft, where they are using your bank account information. Okay, the good news here in all of this is law enforcement is well aware of what's happening. They have been passing laws to help restore your identity and credit. So for example, if you see there's an error in your credit card, most of the banks hold you not liable for whatever amount was taken. In the meantime, some things you should be doing: monitor your personal information closely. Check your bank accounts more than once a month. Check your credit card statements to see if everything makes sense. Get copies of all the national credit reports at least annually. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are the 2 or the 3 providers of that, and they're all obligated to provide you that at least once a month for free. Monitor your national credit with a service like credit report monitoring, like a credit report monitoring service. Identity theft, Identity Guard, Identity Defense, or LifeLock. And cross-shred all your personal information. You get an awful lot of junk mail every day. Many of it is requesting a credit card. If you just throw that in the garbage, they have your address already to apply for a credit card. So shred your junk mail. All your credit card offers, anything with your personal information on it. What do criminals do when they have your identity information? Well, they can commit what's called former mortgage fraud. They can do credit and debit card fraud, prize and lottery fraud. We'll talk more about that one especially. Debt collection fraud, grandchild scam, jury duty scam, computer repair scams, fake charities. If we look at prize and lottery fraud, they exhibit well-known signs that something is wrong. You receive notification that you're a winner, but need to send money to the lottery or sweepstake office in order to cover taxes and get your money. That will never happen. Your winner notifications arrive by bulk mail, right? You are required to attend a meeting to collect your prize. You don't remember entering the lottery or sweepstakes. I've been getting a lot of those for Lowe's and Home Depot. There's $100 waiting for you. Any payments you make are followed by more requests for cash, or you are contacted by other organizations claiming you've won the lottery with them as well. What do you do if you get one of these? There's a number of steps you can take to protect yourself. Never pay money to collect a lottery sweepstake. Legitimate taxes can be taken from the winnings. Don't share your credit card or bank account numbers or send money, even if the organization sends you a check, which is bogus, not probably. If you think the prizes might be real, research the name of the company organization and contact it at a known phone number, one that you have looked up. And report all suspected scams to the Federal Trade Commission. One of the ones that they talked about in the Herald Tribune recently is grandkids scams. In fact, I was teaching a class the other day, and they said they stopped a lady going to get one of those Apple cards that you read the number for, $500 worth, so she should get her grandson out of jail. Fortunately, she was stopped by her friends. You receive a call from an unknown person, usually pretend to be a law enforcement officer or an attorney, telling you that your grandchild or other family member or friend has been arrested and otherwise detained by law enforcement. And you are asked to purchase, they call them green dot cards or iTunes cards, and so, or some other form of payment card, and then read them the numbers. This is the only way you can assure that your loved ones will be represented and released from law enforcement. This is always a scam. Don't do it. My recommendation is hang up. IRS scam. You receive a phone call from someone pretending to be from the IRS, telling that you owe back taxes. And if you don't immediately go purchase a red dot card or iTunes card, someone will come and arrest you. The IRS will never phone you and demand immediate payment, and especially not with green dot, iTunes, or MoneyGram cards.
We are reaching you to inform that IRS is filing a lawsuit against you.
If your phone rings and the caller ID reads IRS, do not answer your phone. Scammers try many tactics. They may prey on your fears and threaten you with deportation, arrest, or loss of your driver's license. They may speak your language to gain your trust. Do not believe them. They may ask you to pay by prepaid card or wire transfer. Don't do it. Do not give money. It's a scam. The IRS will never ask for payment by wire transfer, prepaid, or credit card. Whatever the scenario, remember two things: hang up and report the call.
If they contact you by email, never click on the link in the email. That's a general rule. Never click on the link in the email. It could install malicious software on your computer that will allow the perpetrator of the scam to gain access to everything on your computer. If you do owe federal taxes, call the IRS at their number, and they will help you with a payment plan. And there are some phone numbers to call if you don't owe them money. Now we're going to post this presentation on our STUG website. Medicare scam. You receive a call allegedly from Medicare telling you that they need your number to issue you a new card or some other reason. This should immediately throw up all kinds of warnings in your mind. Wait a minute, you're calling me, you're Medicare, and you don't have my number?
I'm from Medicare. We're sending out the new cards, and I need to confirm your billing information to keep your coverage active. For your protection, I need the last 4 numbers of your social security number. We need this urgently, or else you'll be charged a fee.
Scammers call people pretending to be Medicare representatives. If you receive a phone call from someone acting like a Medicare rep, asking for your personal information, bank details, or Medicare number, it's a scam. Do not give any personal information or money. If someone calls you offering free equipment or services in exchange for your Medicare information, do not accept and hang up. Don't worry about being rude or embarrassed. They're not going to give you free equipment. They just want your information for identity theft. If you get a phone call informing you of new policies or updates about Medicare, do not engage. Instead, initiate the call to Medicare. Then you can make sure that you're calling the correct number to talk to Medicare directly and report it to them. Medicare scams can happen to anyone, but if you tell the people around you, you might just keep it from happening to them. Whatever the scenario, remember 2 things: hang up and report the call.
You know, William Shatner has been on TV talking about free Medicare, free dentist, free hearing aids, etc. But the number is listed there. I'm sure we have all been getting calls about getting an update to your Medicare. Don't respond to any of them. Call the number that William Shatner gives you. Okay. Once they have your Medicare number, they can begin filing fraudulent Medicare charges against your number, defrauding the Medicare system. Never give that number out over the telephone unless you place the call to the doctor's office, for example. Hang up. Some of the most common scams in 2021: Zoom phishing email. COVID-19 vaccination card scam, phony online shopping website, celebrity imposter scams, online romance scams, Medicare card scams, peer-to-peer payment scams, Social Security scam calls. You know, if the bad guys spent half as much time coming up with finding ways to legitimately make money, they'd be millionaires, right? Account takeover text. A really good one here, and we'll cover that later, is the hotel motel scam and the pest robocalls. Okay, phishing scam, right? Con artists register more than 2,449 fake Zoom-related internet domains in the early months of the pandemic, just so they could send out emails that look like they're from the popular video conferencing website Zoom. The scam goes something like this. You receive an email, text, or social media message with a Zoom logo telling you to click on the link because your account is suspended or you've missed a meeting. Clicking can allow criminals to download malicious software on your computer, access your personal information to use for identity theft, or search for passwords to hack other accounts you may have. How to avoid: never click a link in unsolicited email. Okay. We're going to talk about that many times, but that's a key one, and we're all probably guilty of doing it. If you think there is a problem with your account, visit Zoom's real website at zoom.us and follow the customer steps or the steps to customer support. This one's a little dated, but it's still applicable. Maybe we have a new variant coming up here. COVID-19 vaccination card scam, right? Many of you got a COVID vaccination, posted selfies on social media showing off your vaccination card. Scammers immediately pounce. The scheme here is when you fill your name, your birth date, and information about where you received your shot. Scammers have valuable data for identifying identity theft, breaking into your bank accounts and getting credit cards in your name. So taking a picture of that card and then posting it is not a very smart thing to be doing. It basically says, don't do it. Phony online shopping websites. Phony retail websites aren't new, but they look more and more realistic today than they ever have before. Fake sites are using photos from real online retailers and mimicking their look and feel. The scam is you click on an ad online or social media, you see stuff you like at a great price, you enter your credit card info, of course, to buy it, and never receive a product. But they now have your credit card. How to avoid it is don't click on the ad to go to the retailer's site. Instead, go to the URL or the website name of a trusted web shopping website directly. Don't click on the ad. Don't bother with trying to figure out whether the website address is real. The attackers adapt and change them frequently. If you're considering buying from a new site, first check online reviews as well as the company's track record by the Better Business Bureau. And that's at bbb.org. Oh, celebrity imposter scams. Real celebs like Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, grabbed headlines during the pandemic with social media money giveaways. Fans posted their cash transfer app identifier for a chance to win free money. Right away, scammers posed as celebrities, starting offering fake giveaways as a way to get people's private information. The scam is you get a note via social media or an email or a text message claiming you have won. You just need to verify your account info and send a small deposit up front. How to avoid it? If you really win, you won't be asked to send money. The easiest way to defeat this scam is to block incoming requests on your cash transfer app, if you have one. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Most of us are just not that lucky. Herald Tribune had this one, online romance scam, right? They're not just lurking on data websites. Romance scammers are getting close to unsuspecting women and men in online prayer groups, in book groups, through online games like Words with Friends, and other groups are turned to during the pandemic isolation. The scheme is scammers typically lure their romantic or their romance marks off of sites that may be monitored and onto Google Hangouts, WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, where no one's watching. Eventually, they hit you up for money. In other words, you're on there with somebody and you're in this particular group and they say, could we have conversations offline? Here's a website you can go to. That's WhatsApp or a Hangouts ID, etc. And eventually money will be requested. How to avoid it? Rule number 1, never send money to someone you've never met in person. And say no to requests for suggestive selfies or videos that the scammer can later use to blackmail you. It's flattering to be told you are attractive, but it will be used against you later. Medicare scams. Scammers are emailing, calling, and even knocking on doors, claiming to be Medicare and offering all sorts of pandemic-related services if you verify your medical ID number. There's the giveaway. The offer includes new cards they claim contain microchips. Some posers are asking for payment to move beneficiaries up in line to get COVID-19 vaccines. How to avoid? Hang up the phone, shut the door, delete the email. According to Centers for Medicare and Medicare Services, Medicare will never contact you without permission for your Medicare number or other personal information. And it will never call you to sell you anything. Guard that Medicare number and never pay for a COVID vaccine. It's free. Peer-to-peer payment. The rise in smartphones tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal, which lets you transfer money directly to another person, has led to a range of frauds. So if you're using any one of these applications, you have the capability of being scammed. The scam is one or more pervasive, is one that is more pervasive, is the so-called accidental transfer of frauds scam. The scam is the scammer sends hundreds of dollars and then sends the follow-up message requesting the money back, claiming it was accidental. I wasn't supposed to send it to you. But the original transfer was made with a stolen debit card. Those funds will eventually be removed from your account and you're out of the money. In the meantime, they request money back. How to avoid synchronized money requests before hitting accept. To be extra diligent, disable or block incoming requests altogether on your app and only use it to send money. Ignore the notice to return an accidental deposit and report the innocent to the app's support team to resolve the dispute. Social Security scam calls. Scammers are using spoof phone numbers to look like they're coming from Washington, D.C. I bet nobody's been getting any of these, to appear credible. You get a scary phone call saying the Social Security number has been used in a crime and you'll be arrested soon if you don't send money to fix it. They may say your number was used to rent a car where drugs were found and that the Drug Enforcement Agency is on their way to your house. The caller may refer you to a local law enforcement website where you can see the person's picture. You think you've checked it out, call them back and send money. How to avoid, don't pick up the phone unless you absolutely know who's calling. Many of us don't have a caller ID on our phones, so they don't know who's calling. I recommend you turn it on, so when you call somebody, they don't start not answering. It is important. If it's important, they'll leave a voicemail. Account takeover scam texts. Scammers are sending fake text message alleging there's a big trouble with your internet account, a credit card, bank account, or shopping order for Amazon. They want you to click on the links and provide personal information. Again, when this starts happening, don't do it. The scheme, the urgent sounding text message may have real looking logos. People don't expect scammers to use text messages, so they're more likely to click. How to avoid, remember, don't click the links in emails or text that you haven't asked for. Call your bank or credit card company to check for a problem. Installing security software in your computer and keeping it up to date can help. This is a really cool one. Hotel motel scam. If you travel and stay in a hotel or motel, you must read this one. Typically, when you check in, you give the front desk your credit card so that they can make any room charges to the credit card. And they don't retain the card, they give it back to you. You go back to your room and settle in. The hotel receives a call and a caller asks for, as an example, room number 620, which happens to be your room. Now, this is an outside call coming in. The phone rings in your room. You pick it up. And the person on the other end says the following: this is the front desk. When checking in, we came across a problem with your charged credit card information. Could you please reread me your credit card numbers and verify the last 3 digits or the 3 digits on the reverse side of your card, along with the date, right? Not thinking anything is wrong since the call came from the front desk, or you think it did, but actually it's a scam from someone calling from outside the hotel. They have asked for a random phone number, room number. They ask you and your credit card for your credit card and address information. They sound so professional that you think you're talking to the front desk. If you never encounter this situation on your travels, if you ever do, tell the caller that you'll be down to the front desk to clear up the problem. Then go to the front desk or call directly and ask if there was a problem. There is none. Inform the manager and tell the hotel that someone is trying to scam you and your credit card information, acting like a front desk employee. This was sent by someone who has been dubbed and is still cleaning up the mess, duped and still cleaning up the mess. Robocalls. Anybody getting robocalls out there?
If you have a telephone, it probably seems like illegal robocalls are out of control. I'm Katie Daffin, an attorney at the Federal Trade Commission. If you pick up the phone and hear a recorded message instead of a live person, that's a robocall. Consumers are getting more and more robocalls, and they are not happy about it. As the number of calls has multiplied, the number of complaints has too. The reason for the spike in robocalls has to do with technology. Companies are using auto dialers that can send out thousands of phone calls every minute for an incredibly low cost. What's important is that the companies that use this technology don't bother to screen for the numbers on the National Do Not Call Registry. If a company doesn't care about obeying the law, you can be sure they're trying to scam you. You've probably gotten robocalls about candidates running for office or charities asking for donations. These robocalls are allowed. But any robocall that's trying to sell you something probably is illegal, unless you've given your written permission to get calls from that company. The FTC has stopped billions, yes, billions of robocalls in the last 2 years. Tracing these calls is a tough job, and there are a few reasons for that. One is that many different companies use the same or very similar recorded messages. Another is that they fake the caller ID information that you see on your phone. That's called caller ID spoofing, and new technology makes it very easy to do. And a third is that the robocallers often place the calls through internet technology that hides their location. At the FTC, we're continuing our aggressive enforcement efforts, and we're also looking for innovative technological solutions to the robocall problem. For more information, please visit ftc.gov/robocalls. That's ftc.gov/robocalls.
It's known as spoofing, when scammers mask phone numbers in your caller ID display so an incoming call looks like it's from a familiar number. Spoofers often use your area code, so a call may seem like it's from a neighbor, a local company, or even a government agency. They can get you at hello, even if no one's on the line. Sometimes scammers use spoofed robocalls to see if your line is live so they can target you later. Or you may be prompted to push a button on your phone to hear an important message. Don't do it. It may result in fraudulent charges. You You may hear a recording or a live operator or some combination following a scam script designed to confuse you. The caller may already know a lot about you and may try to use that to fool you into giving them more. Keep your guard up. If a caller starts asking you for your PIN or a password to a bank account, or if you feel pressured or bullied, hang up. If you want to call back, use a customer service number you can validate on a bill, an account statement, or an official website. Bottom line, if you don't recognize the number, don't answer. And if you do, don't hang on, hang up. Learn more at fcc.gov/spoofing.
How do you stop robocalls? You can register them many different ways. Register on a do not call list. And it's free to register it at donotcall.gov. Right? Activate your service with your internet service provider. They provide free access. AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon offer free services. That modern network activity and crowdsourced reports to block suspected fraudulent calls. Get a robocall blocking app like No More Robocall, RoboKiller, Truecaller, or Umail. Get revenge. For $4 a month, robocall takes over and fingerprints your voicemails, but adds a clever twist. Answers robots. Okay. Here's the protection services that they all provide. The different email, the different wireless providers. And then the landlines provide the services as well. So if you have one of these, go ahead and give them a call and set it up. If you set up No More Robo, here's the website. It's www.nomorobo.com/SIGNUP. Sign up and follow the instructions for signing up. Now, I'm not going to run through these because we would have to be doing it together, right? And these are the services that they support. How to stop unsolicited robocalls to your home. When you reach the setup of your carrier setup on No More Robo website, right? Here's what you would do. Now, I'm not going to go through these. Again, this is posted on our website. And so you'll be able to see what you need to do. You can also disable it. And if I've enabled and verified No More Robo on my phone, what do? You continue to use your phone like normal. All you'll need to do is wait for the second ring. You'll know that No More Robo has activated when you get one ring and then nothing happens. No more rings. It's detected a robocaller if you only hear one ring. There's also a service called First Orion, Haya, No More Robo, TNS Call Guardian, and your Umail. There's also wireless device solutions. Apple has one called Silence Unknown Callers. Google has one, and Android and Google Voice have one. Samsung partners have one. Prevent identity theft. What do you have to do? If I were to summarize the whole presentation tonight, this is what I would say. Check your credit report regularly. Shred unsolicited credit card applications and anything with your personal information on it, including your address. Monitor your account statements for unauthorized transaction, your banking accounts, your credit card accounts. Follow up with creditors if your bills are missing. Keep your Social Security card and number in a safe location. Do not respond to spam phone calls. That's a pretty easy list. Call the companies where you know the fraud occurred if you suspect one has happened or is attempted to happen. Change your login passwords and PINs for your account if you suspect that account has been hacked. To place a fraud alert, contact one of the 3 credit card bureaus that that company must tell the other 2. So you have 3 different: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. A fraud alert is free. It will make it harder for someone to open my accounts. I actually have accounts at Experian and I lock them all. So if somebody goes to the bank, or I want to go to buy a car and I want to buy it on credit, or you want to take out a loan, they'll check these accounts. And if they're locked, you can't get the loan. So they say, hey, Bill, can you unlock the account so I can see it? Get your free credit report from one of those or all 3 of those companies. Go to annualcreditcardreport.com, and that's at 1-877-322-8228. Review your reports, make notes of any account or transaction discrepancies. This will help you report the theft to the FTC. And if you are a victim of it, report it to the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. There's the number. Again, it will be on our website. Based on the information you enter, identitytheft.gov will create your identity theft report and personal recovery plan. And you can also file a report with the local police. Tell them you have been fraudulently approached, and they'll file a report. Ask for a copy of the police report. You may need this to complete other steps. All right. Some of the common kinds of identity theft are: criminals see what you and hear what your personal information is. If you're in an airport and you're looking at your computer and you're entering a credit card number, is there a guy looking over your shoulder or a person looking over your shoulder watching you make that entry? Or do they hear you giving that information over the phone? They find your information in the trash. Most of the time, the fraud is committed by phone, email, or internet. Criminals want your driver's license, your Social Security number, your Medicare number, your name, your banking account, credit card numbers, and other financial information along with your address. They use this information to perpetrate mortgage fraud where they try to take out a mortgage in your name. They use your credit card to buy things. They tell you you've won a lottery. Debit card collection fraud, COVID-19 scams. Here's some of the ones we covered: the grandchild scam, IRS scam, jury duty. You were to report for jury duty. We're fining you. Please send us money. Fake credit card, fake check scam, computer repair scam. We didn't talk about that one. We will do that next time when we're talking much more about computers. Medicare scam, fake charity scams. You should. 5 things. Check your credit card statement frequently. Check the 3 credit bureau reports frequently. Never give information over the phone if you did not make the call. It is so easy to do this. Hang up on anyone who says they're getting you money or you owe them money. Then call the police. We are all too gullible. And number 5, do not click on attachments, especially from email you don't recognize. And keep an eye on your website, on what website you are really on. When you do make a click, look at the top of the screen and see what address you're actually on. If it's not JCPenney's or Amazon.com, it probably is not a legitimate website. If you see a problem, contact the banks, and that should be canceled. Cancel cards and lock accounts. File an FTC report and file a report with the police. Okay. Any questions? Anybody still awake?
There was one hand up earlier, but I don't see it up now.
Okay.
So if they click on reactions and put the hand up, we'll recognize you or put something in the chat box.
Yep.
Judith has a question. Unmute yourself.
I think I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
You are.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. How do you recommend unsubscribing from unsolicited emails? You don't recommend it at all.
Oh, no.
There should be an unsubscribe button, like at the bottom, usually.
No, okay, let me answer that. If you click unsubscribe to an illegitimate website, they'll say, hey, we have a hot one, and they give that email address to they sell it to other people. And all of a sudden you start getting emails from other sources.
Yes, even the good guys do that.
And the good guys could do it. Now, I will tell you, I have started, and it worked. I just started clicking unsolicited, I did it. And eventually it slowed down to, and I have basically stopped getting unsolicited email, but it took a while.
Even political ones?
Well, political ones, you have to contact them directly and say, I'm not going to give you any more money.
Okay.
No, but unsolicited ones will work. right? It may take you, it may have to do it for 4, 5, or 6 different political sources.
All the sources that I've seen, Bill, that they recommend do not click on anything, because as soon as you do,
I
you've
know
let them know that you are reading the email.
you're hot and they're gonna
Yep.
tell it to other people.
Hard enough to
I was
find.
there,
And-
I was there,
and-
Julie. I was there. And you can do it either way. I decided to see what would happen if I just started saying, I don't want to get these anymore. And I started unsoliciting, and it has worked. I get maybe 3 a day, 4 a day now versus 20 or 30. So if it doesn't work for you, so if it's from J.C. Penney's and you want to stop getting it, or it's from Bell's, I think unsolicitation works relatively well.
Thank you.
But it is a controversial topic. That's a good question, by the way.
Bill, I have just a comment. Whenever I go to a place like, say, Lowe's or Home Depot, they want you to put in your phone number. They say this way we can track your purchase down and you don't have to keep your receipt. I say no, thank you. Because the minute I do that, within days, I start getting telemarketing calls.
That's
Because
interesting, because they have your credit card. When you want to return something, they use the credit card.
No,
Oh, you don't,
they can use a phone number. That was like a trick initially. They want your phone number. Many people just simply want your phone number to track your purchase in case you have to return something. You put in your phone number, you register it with them. That's how all this stuff, I think, has started too.
it could be. I've never been asked to do that.
Oh,
I buy everything on a credit card, and then when I go in and want to return, I just have my credit card and it's done. On both Home Depot and Lowe's, that's the way it's happened to me.
and these debit card companies like PayPal, those employees, they get to snoop.
See
your
that?
phone. PayPal and those type companies, they get to snoop into the private records of the PayPal's customers, I believe.
Okay, I happen to be a user of PayPal. But if I'm going to buy something from, not Amazon, but some other website, I use PayPal because it gives me a level of protection.
What kind of protection do you mean, Bill?
If I decide I don't want the merchandise, PayPal in many cases will reverse the charges.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that kind of protection. I'm talking about these employees have access to everything.
And that could be,
Like bank employees do.
yeah. Hey, that's the wonderful world of the internet.
Yeah.
To go along with that if you call your bank or you call somebody for help, you're getting an overseas number and they have access to all of your information as well. So there's no real protection for that, hoping that the company somehow monitors it and protects you. A PayPal I've never had an issue with, and I use it a lot. The good thing about PayPal is you can use your PayPal account. They double check and use two-factor authentication to make sure it's you. And the company or the store that you're buying from never sees your credit card information. It's only handled by PayPal, which does protect it. So I feel much more, like Bill, I feel much more comfortable using PayPal than giving them a credit card number, especially for a small company or a company I've never done business with before.
I agree with that, but I'm wondering then, where are all these people getting our phone numbers from for this robocalls? They got to get it from somewhere.
Yeah, 555-1212 is a number. They have, it's all automated. It calls every number that there is, and you're going to be in that bunch.
Hmm.
They don't look them up. They don't find them anywhere. They just dial everything. They're like the one recording that Bill showed, that it's all automated. It's done so well. The equipment now is so sophisticated and inexpensive that they just do thousands of calls a second, and they do it, and they'll just pick every number right in a row. And so if you're included in those, that's how you get it. They have no idea who you are until you either answer your call or you say something or you give them information.
What I've resorted to with some of them is I wait until they say something. I say, Joe's Bar and Grill. And they say, is Mr. Crowe there? I said, who are you trying to reach? Well, is Mrs. Crowe there? I said, this is Joe's Bar and Grill. Oh, it's a business? Yes, it's a business. Click. So I'm not going to get a call from that one again.
I have a follow-up question to Howie and Bill's remarks about PayPal. Of all the cash transfer apps that you mentioned, is PayPal the
I just
best?
don't think they should allow this now. Why should we
Go ahead.
listen to all that shit?
Anybody have a feeling on that one? What's the best way to send money?
I've used PayPal with no problem at all.
Okay.
Even
I have too. I haven't tried
with individuals. Somebody wanted to give me some money for something that I had. I changed it, exchanged it with PayPal. And I have not had any issues ever.
Okay, thank you.
Question, Bill.
Go ahead, Peter.
What's your position on websites requesting to install cookies when you do a search?
Cookies. We'll get a little more into that next time, but let me answer it now. First of all, what's a cookie? Anybody out there know what definition of what a cookie is? A cookie is a piece of information the website you're currently on puts on your computer. The cookie can be a good cookie and a bad cookie. Okay. And I use this example in my classes where I bought a pair of boots from LL Bean. And 2 months later, I went back to LL Bean and I logged in. They said, "Hi, Bill. Would you like some socks to go with those boots?" And I said, "Well, that's pretty good marketing." Until I realized they had put a cookie on my computer telling them my name and what I had purchased from them before, and they used that as a marketing strategy. And I don't think it's a bad marketing strategy, except they're using my computer resource to do it. The banks oftentimes put a cookie on your machine when you log in and you pass all their passwords and mother's maiden name questions, and they put a cookie on your machine saying you have been to the bank's website before from this computer. And they use that cookie in a positive way so that the next time you log in and you give them your password, they see the cookie and say, aha, it's another form of identifying you, saying, oh, he got on this machine. He got onto the website, the bank's website from this machine before. So it's a second way of authenticating who you are. There are also bad cookies, and I haven't seen a lot of bad ones. But oftentimes they want to know where your address, and that's within your website, and they can capture that. They gather that kinds of information. And oftentimes when you if you turned off cookies and you go to a website, it says, can we have permission to put cookies or use cookies on your machine? And for example, the banks, many of them won't let you in unless you allow them to have cookies. So I turn mine off. So I don't allow cookies. When I go to a bank side, I know where I turned it off and I turn it on, do my business with that particular website, and then turn them off again. Okay?
Bill, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is not a very good topic. Okay. So I apologize. And I'm not going to get very graphic about it either. My text on my phone came through. And I'm very conservative. I'm very religious, okay? So this text comes to my phone.
You said what came through on your phone?
A text that has like a link. It had a link on the phone.
Yep.
So it didn't have a phone number, didn't have a name, just a link. So I go to this link. It spooked me so bad. This lady was undressing. It just scared me. And I turned it off immediately. I didn't erase it because I was trying to find a way to forward it to the sheriff because I know some people. I was trying to forward it to the sheriff, but there's no way to forward a text. And so I was afraid to keep it on the phone until I could get to the sheriff department because I got a million things I'm doing over here. But I wanted to take it to the sheriff department show. And then I started thinking they may confiscate the phone, even though I didn't initiate it. So how can you capture, not capture, how can you forward the text to the sheriff or, authority?
Anybody have an answer for forwarding messages?
So they can investigate it.
Yeah.
Just copy it and send it to another person? Or
how can you copy it?
You have an iPhone or an Android?
Mine is it's a Samsung, like the latest Samsung that you have possible. How do you find out what you do have?
I don't have the expertise on that type of phone, so I leave it to Bill or the others.
How do you find out what kind of phone you got? Where do you go to settings?
If it says Apple on it, it's an iPhone. If it doesn't say Apple on it, it's
Here we go.
Android.
Now, Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G.
There you go.
It's Android.
Anybody know how you copy a message on Androids?
Not I.
Screenshot. No,
Yeah, take a screenshot of it.
Oh, yeah.
no, you can also
And then
select,
attach it as a
Yeah.
picture.
you can also select the text and do a copy and paste.
Select the text.
Hold down your finger on it. Don't tap it to go to the website, but hold your finger down and drag it over it.
And
It'll say
it wasn't
select all.
it wasn't a website. It was just a lady doing that thing. That's it.
Well, yeah, it took you to a website.
It took
And
you to a website, yes.
And most likely, just copying it and giving that to the police not going to give them any information whatsoever. What would is to know where the text came from. And if there's any information, it's going to be spoofed. It's not going to be a real number. If there is some kind of a identification, it's going to be fake. And so there's basically nothing you can do. The best thing you can do is just erase it.
That's the first time in my life I ever got something like that. It just scared me.
Yep.
Well, and Bill said, don't click on links on something that you don't know who it's from. And there's a reason
Well, I
why.
thought that meant in email. I didn't think through text, Now I know.
Yeah, he mentioned that too. Yep.
Oh,
Good question, though. Good question.
We have any more
Absolutely.
questions? Any more questions before, because it's now 8:21 and we need to
Whoa.
wind down and give ourselves a prize. Let's see who's going to get one tonight. Are there any more questions before I do that?
yes, I want to make a comment. The only reason I'm here tonight is because I got an email early this morning says join STUG, click here. So if you all send these to me same day that you're going to be meeting, I will be here. Otherwise, I got too many emails to comb through to remember or write all that stuff down. All these little ways to click onto.
So you're suggesting we have to send out
Yes,
this notice the day of?
yes,
Okay.
yes, and yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We will take your suggestion and talk about it. And I would like to know, actually, if the next time you could use a real name, unless your real name is COL, like the rest of us, we all put in our first and last name. That helps us a great deal.
I'll do that now.
Well, thank you so much. Okay. At this time,
And
I'm looking around. Yes.
do you want to say anything about next month's the plans for next month's meeting?
Yes, and we're going to have to get that out, David. Thanks very much for reminding me, but we're going to have to get that information out to all of you some other way, because obviously we don't have every one of you here. We're going to try and do a hybrid meeting next month, and we're going to do it at Denny's, and it's going to be, I think that's the 5th of January, and should be a very exciting meeting. It doesn't, all of you, please don't come, but if any of you would like to come, that would be great. We're gonna start around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The meeting will be at 7.
And we'll probably start around 6:30.
We'll probably say, oh, well, we won't start the meeting before then, but where people are coming to eat, if they want to eat.
Right.
And we have some surprise food for anybody that
Yes, we'll have
shows
some
up.
nice food for you.
Yeah.
Just a dessert, just a dessert.
It's just a dessert, right? It is, but even so, you might want to come and have a hamburger or something first. So
That's in January, right?
that's in January. And we're going to be meeting in the room at Denny's, and this, when you go into Denny's, it's on Bee Ridge Road. It's to the right when you get inside the door. So we hope to set up. We don't know how many people we can get in the room, but I think it will be enough for the people that will show up. And we'd be delighted to try a hybrid meeting and see how it works.
And
What
we-
city? What city is
we
it?
mean by hybrid is that people who come will see the presentation, but will also be Zooming it.
Yes, so you can stay at home if you want to and see the meeting from at home, which will be starting at 7 as normal. And we will be at the restaurant. Some of us will be at the restaurant in hopes of seeing you there. So thank you
What city?
for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. I was to find the person that we were going to give a free year's membership to tonight. And you know what? He's gone. And because he's gone, I have to go to my second person on the list. And I'm looking all over to see if maybe he's gone too. I can't really see. Is Joe Dietz here? Joe is here. Joe, congratulations.
Yeah,
You won.
this is my
You
second.
won by default.
This is my second in a row.
Oh, well, you may not care for this. If you would like it, it's up to you.
If I got credit for the other one, pass it on to somebody else.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much, Joe. And our next winner then is, oh my gosh, I'm not sure he's Ed Landis. Ed's here. Ed Landis?
I'm here. I'm here.
There you
Oh,
are.
hey.
Okay. There you are, lucky
Put
number
me in
3.
video.
So Ed, hi. Congratulations. You get a free year of STUG.
That is fabulous. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Right.
Thank you so much.
We will make sure that your information gets to the person who's going to give you that, who's Nancy Dennis. So you should be hearing from her very shortly. And we're glad that you were with us tonight. We are glad that all of you are with us tonight. We want to particularly thank Bill for his great presentation. Looking forward to the next one, Bill.
All
We'll
right.
see you all again very soon. Oh, have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And we'll see you in the new year. Huey, one more thing.
Yes. One more thing, what?
You said you wanted to, did you have
No.
your hand up?
No,
you're
I was
just saying
waving goodbye.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
you.
See you soon.